Imagine a city paralyzed by a ghost. In the late 1980s and early 1990s, the suburbs of Melbourne, Australia, were transformed from quiet, leafy havens into a landscape of pure terror. The cause wasn't just the crimes themselves, but the methodical, almost supernatural precision of the man behind them. He was dubbed Mr. Cruel by the press, but to those he targeted, he was a silent shadow in a balaclava. The most haunting image associated with these crimes is the mask. Victims described a man wearing a dark blue or green balaclava, sometimes with the mouth and eye holes meticulously stitched to conceal every possible feature. He didn't just wear it to hide. He wore it to dominate. When he stepped into a child's bedroom in the dead of night, usually during school holidays, he wasn't a man, he was a faceless nightmare. His entry was never forced with a sledgehammer. He was a phantom who picked locks, tampered with security gates, and cut phone lines before anyone even knew he was there. He would appear at the bedside, often wielding a large knife or a handgun, speaking in a soft, unhurried, almost polite voice. It was a terrifying contrast, the extreme violence of his intent delivered with the calm of a schoolteacher. His first confirmed attack in 1987 saw him tie up a young girl's parents and brother before assaulting her in her own home. But as his confidence grew, so did the madness. He began abducting children, taking them from their beds and vanishing into the night. He would keep them for precisely calculated lengths of time, 50 hours, 18 hours before releasing them, meticulously bathed and dressed in a fresh set of clothes. It was a level of control that suggested he wasn't just a predator. He was a perfectionist who viewed his victims as objects in a dark, ritualistic play. By 1991, the fear in Melbourne had reached a boiling point. The Victoria Police launched one of the largest manhunts in Australian history, forming the Spectrum Task Force. Over 200 officers were dedicated to finding the man in the balaclava. They had a profile, highly intelligent, likely aged 30 to 50, with a medium build and a distinctive small pot belly. He was believed to be someone who lived alone or had a private space where he could hold victims for days without detection, a house likely under a flight path. As victims reported the constant roar of planes, the investigation was a mountain of data. Detectives compiled the Sierra Files, a list of over 30,000 persons of interest. They interviewed thousands, but Mr. Cruel had left them nothing. No fingerprints, no DNA, no forensic traces. He forced his victims to bathe in detergent to strip away any evidence. He even spray-painted more to come on a family car during the abduction of 13-year-old Carmine Chan, a taunt that proved his total lack of fear. The abduction of Carmine Chan in April 1991 changed everything. Unlike previous victims who were returned, Carmine's body was found a year later in a shallow grave, shot 3 times in the head. The cruel persona had shifted from assault and psychological torture to cold-blooded execution. Some investigators believe Carmine was killed because she fought back. She had told her mother she wouldn't go quietly. She may have seen his face, or his meticulous mask may have slipped. Whatever the reason, after Carmine's death, the trail went cold. The Spectrum Task Force was eventually disbanded. Despite the million-dollar rewards and the thousands of suspects, the star student of criminal evasion had won. The police had interviewed him. They were sure of it. Assistant Commissioner Steve Fontana later admitted, "We may have actually spoken to the offender, but without a smoking gun." He walked right out of the interview room and back into the shadows. So where is he now? This is the most unsettling question of all. In 1991, after the murder of Carmine Chan, the attacks stopped as abruptly as they had begun. Why? The theories are as varied as they are chilling. Some believe he died, or perhaps he was jailed for an unrelated crime, his secret locked away in a cell where no one knew his true identity. Others suggest he simply retired, satisfied with the terror he had sown, or moved to another country to start the cycle anew. But there is a darker possibility that keeps investigators awake in 2026. Mr. Cruel was a creature of technology and planning. Detectives believe that if he is still alive today, he hasn't stopped his obsessions. He's just moved them. He is believed to have videotaped his crimes, keeping them as trophies. In the age of the dark web and encrypted communication, a man like Mr. Cruel wouldn't need to leave his house to find his community. He could be a quiet neighbor, a retired professional, or a grandfatherly figure living in the very suburbs he once haunted, watching the news reports about his own legend with a cold, stitched-shut smile. If he was 40 in 1990, he would be in his mid-70s today. He could be sitting in a park in Melbourne right now, watching the next generation of children play, knowing that he committed the perfect crimes and got away with it. The reward for his capture stands at $1 million, but money can't buy a name that was never given. Until a deathbed confession or a breakthrough in decades-old forensic technology happens, Mr. Cruel remains the ultimate ghost story, a reminder that sometimes the mask never comes off. If you're liking the video so far, subscribe and follow Mystery and Madness for more deep dives into the world's most enduring enigmas.